Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I'm the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. I want to say salutations to my madrina, to my padrino, to my obai, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Mystic, and Ajay. I want to I use this. What's up, Miss Whitney? I use this platform to encourage, educate melanated people. I'm a Sagittarius. My moon is in Aries, and my rising sign Pisces. I am a firm believer. If there are any other Sagittarius, Miss Whitney is a Sagittarius. We believe in freedom. So at no time, at any of my lives, that my goal is to change your mind. My goal is to give you knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and hope that you can factor in what is good and proper and necessary for you as a grown man or grown woman. And one of the things that I do love about the age of Aquarius is that we're dealing with individuality, we're dealing with a lot of facts, we're dealing with a lot of technology. And in the season of Gemini, we pretty much content creators are mostly male men and male women that is distributing information. And I want to make sure that the information that I'm giving to the collective and anybody that is on this spiritual journey is really getting the information that is necessary, whether you a beginner in magic or intermediate or advanced, or you're solitary, you're somebody that no longer goes to church, but you got church influence, or you're somebody that is in the church and you feel stuck when it comes to your spirituality. And I want to talk to my melanated people, and thank you so much, Ms. Whitney, hitting that like button. When I tell y'all melanated people, I love melanated people. And yes, we got some free radicals in melanation, but for the most part, when you honest and you truthful, melanated men and women gonna stand with you. And my platform is basically built predominantly by black women. All my social media outlets, and I'm gonna be saying things to hopefully help encourage your spiritual journey. And one of the things that I want to talk about on this Sunday, as above, so below, we're talking about Leo energy in the heart. And I'm going to speak from my heart. I want us to understand the institution of the church. And I do understand the weaponization of the church. I do understand the coons of the church. But I want to direct you to universal laws. And the church is really under the age of Sagittarius. Philosophers, visionaries, and you'll find that this institution fits right up under Sagittarius, Jupiter, King of the gods, Queen of the gods. And I want to share something with you. I practice various of African traditions, and I see a concerted effort with my fellow practitioners of spirituality, encouraging people to come out of the church. The church is designed through Sagittarius for community. When it comes to Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, Kimbanda, all of these are individual. I'm going to say it again. All of these other practices are individual pathways for people. And when you don't understand and you try to throw out the baby with the bathwater, you are going against community. The church was how a lot of people, including Malcolm X, that we glorify, his mother, which was activist, Dr. King, all of these people came out of this community. This is what African tradition teaches us about ancestral veneration. This is why they teach you about when you teach a woman, you basically teach a village, because you understand the community that she's going to impact. And when people overlook because of dishonest people or people for their own purposes and reasons for violating the sanctity of that community, that you feel like every problem that you have is due to the community of the church. That's not so. Has the church abused its leverage and influence? Absolutely. Has people infiltrated their doctrines in the church? But I want you to explain to me what other community, whether it's the Ifa community, whether it's the Yoruba community, whether it's the Japanese, what community does not have these same issues? Let's correct the problems in the avenues that divide. Thank you. Good morning to you. I think that's Mother Susan. In the community, when you tell a man or woman to leave their marriage, they need to get out their marriage. Do you have a place for them to go? Are you going to go with them while they're single and help them find what you say is a good man or a good woman? You're not. The average people that forget about community and what community has done for them and only want to focus on the negative things that took place in community, they're not going to be with you when you're no longer in the community of the church. Once you leave that Elay, they're not going to be with you while you got to search out another community, because a part of our spirituality is understanding that we are all connected. I'm going to say this again. We have to be able to heal. When I was younger, I probably did what all y'all done did. We try to run from our problems. We try to blame our way through our problems. It's my mama, it's my daddy. My daddy had been more of a father to me, then I wouldn't have turned out like this. If I had learned this and not grew up like this, I would have had better options. All of that sounds good until you trying to evolve. Until you start understanding how life really works. And I believe that most melanated people lack life skills. Let me say that again. Having the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding how to navigate in life in spite of obstacles, in spite of setbacks, in spite of health crisis. I help people wherever they are. If you're in the church, I can help you. If you're at the church, I can help you. If you're a part of a clan, I can help you. If you're a solitary person, hermit, I can help you, because I done been in all of those phases. What I want us to do is to understand this. The same way if a predator is trying to get, just say a lion is chasing gazelles. They're going to look for the weakest, and they're going to also look for the one that is not running with the pack or not keeping up with the pack. See, I learned something from my grandmother. One of few things, but this was very significant in my spiritual journey. She always was an activist in the community. And I didn't understand what she was saying at the time because I was really young. And she said, I'm fighting for my neighbor's house because they still coming for my house. And if I can help them, defeat them at my neighbor's house, on my neighbor's territory, they won't get to my house. A lot of times, we don't understand the principle of divide and conquer. And a lot of times, because of we being scarred or certain things that happen, we also perpetuate that same information and don't realize a lot of the hangings took place when someone was caught alone. We keep hearing all the time, in every tradition, there's power in numbers. Because somebody in that pack can fight that lion off. If you look at nature, and when they're under attack, when a herd is up under attack, when a people is under attack, the last thing you want to do is break rank. Because you ain't going to see everything. You ain't going to hear everything. Everybody shot. You ain't going to hear everything. And you ain't got the skills to cover everything. But somebody in that pack, what you don't know, that somebody in that pack knows. Community, melanated people. What happened to social media and why a lot of people were against TikTok? Because what's up, Triana Aries in the house? TikTok brought our communities, our homes, our businesses, our information together. I'm going to say that again. A lot of things that I have been able to accomplish, even though them demons trying to sign. This is a problem. How are you going to talk about Ra being of Ethiopian God and use the terminology of the colonizer? We got to check our language. And I know that we don't mean no harm. The word demon is not a African traditional language. Even in Kemet, even Egyptology. I want us to understand that every last one of us in our own ways help perpetuate misinformation. And especially we have platforms. We have to understand that our community has always, and until these parasites are done away with, I can't wait for June the 5th because the sun is going to be shining even stronger. And so black melanated people are going to harness more power, and the parasites going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. It's almost over in that aspect. What was will never be again. I'm talking in code. So let me explain. That's right, solar energy. And we know what it does for melanated people. Our spirituality, our Kundalini rising, our strengthening us in our zodiac energy. All this is love. I want you to understand, even in trying to help our melanated people, we have to understand that everybody has a different pathway. And I'm going to use the Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. And a misnomer about Dr. King was he was a peaceful man. He really was not a peaceful man. when you're dealing with somebody that wants you to have something that God gave you, you have to have a strategy. And when you look at the methodology behind Dr. King, that's why it's significant. You find out later that Aretha Franklin supported that. Everything is not going to be all good and all bad, and neither does it have to be. But we have to understand why we mobilize like we do. Whether we're doing it in the church, whether we're mobilizing on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. But I guarantee, if it wasn't for your melanated community, there's things that you know now that you would not have ever known. There's information that you receive from that same community because they were speaking on subject matters that related to melanated people. This is why my platform is so important. This is why other platforms are so important. And a lot of the platforms that you don't agree with because you don't have a relation in your mind to that particular platform, you think the way of Malcolm is the only way. You think the way of Farrakhan is the only way. No, these people, these melanated agents exist because everybody got a different pathway. Everybody is not on a beginner's level. Everybody is not in that intermediate stage. Everybody is not in the advanced. But there's many paths to victory. There's many paths to healing. Some people, I know that no matter how much truth I spill, they cannot deal with that Sagittarius energy. I'm too aggressive, I'm too blunt, I'm too truthful, and there's always somebody else. And we got to stop this saying, oh, they ain't real like me. Everybody don't need the raw. I'm going to say that again. My community and the people that I resonate mostly with is people that can receive direct truth, like Miss Whitney said. That people are going to deal with confrontation that will not misconstrue me being confrontational as that I'm attacking you. I'm attacking the misinformation. I am attacking what is weakening us. I am attacking what I have discerned over the wisdom that God has given me. I'm not here to tell you you don't have to walk your pathway. I am here to tell you, let's not be a part of weakening our communities. Because when you at either tired from work and you ain't got money for a daycare, you send them to the church. When you ain't got money to patronize Christmas or Easter, any holiday in the United States, you look to the church, the community. What we have to understand, I take that back. You ain't got to understand nothing. My job is to bring awareness. I'm a fire sign. Bring enlightenment. Did you ever consider that they are bringing down melanated churches while other non-melanated churches doing that and some are thriving? They're bringing down melanated men and women in the entertainment and the actor, the film industry, while other non-melanated people are thriving. They're doing that and some. And let me explain something to you. This is not about being on one side or the other. This is about bringing awareness that our community is under attack. And if we don't have people in all facets of life Whether they're in jail, there's somebody melanated to guide you. Whether they are going through some health crisis, there's somebody melanated there to guide you. Every aspect of your journey. I remember the time when I didn't have a car and I was walking. And I end up ministering spiritually to some of the people that I met on the sidewalk. And when I got through, you feeling good about what had happened and how things moved. And when I walked past them after doing that, the Spirit of the Lord awakened my mind. He said, if you were driving, you would have never met those people. You would have never stopped your car to do that. That's where truth comes into play. There's certain people that if you wouldn't or I wouldn't have been going through certain things, certain information would have never got out. We would have never had the knowledge or the wherewithal to support a certain type of community. I'm talking about our melanated community. We have to understand that we can't be a part of the problem. And when we recognize that we are a part of the problem, then because we love our community, what we need to do is to correct that without nobody telling us. Thank you so much for the gifts. Spirit places us right where we are needed. I'm going to agree with you, but the problem that we have when we are placed in certain phases of our life, we don't like it. Long as we're on the mountaintop, we all good. But when we are placed on the valley low, we got problems. The way you behave about your spirituality on the mountaintop should be the same way you behave when you on the valley low. The same way that you behave when you heal should be the same way you behave when you sick. Because you still got a message to give. Melanated people need to understand our community is very important. The hive is very important. My following, I could never be who I am with the masses if it wasn't for the community, the spiritual community. Does everybody like me in the community? They don't have to. I'm going to say that again. Does everybody get with what I'm doing? They don't have to. Because you're going to be fed and strengthened and supported by the people God got there for you. Everybody in that community don't have to be doing what you're doing or supporting what you're doing. But everybody in that community benefits off of what you're doing. Dr. Sebi is gone on into the ancestral realm. But a lot of my healing, oh, come on here, somebody. I got to leave a body of work to help melanated people. And that community is going to support that. It's up to me to be a good steward of what the divine has blessed me with. Would I say, can you find God outside of the community church? Absolutely. God is within you. But I will also say there's power in numbers. You can't multiply psychic energy, a melanated energy, as much as 2 or 3 gathered together, touching and agreeing on one thing. You can't manifest that. Community in. This is why when we come together as a collective, things happen. The power that you have individually, the knowledge you have individually, can only go so far. But it is maximized, it's multiplied when we have community. What I'm saying, have your experience with the church. Testify your truthfulness with the church. But like any relationship, you have to heal. And healing is hurtful. Truth has to be surface. Misuse of anything, anywhere, at any time, is not good for the collective. But I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the church. I got hurt a lot in the church. But you know what the church did for me? It prepared me for the other traditions outside of the church, because I see the same behavior. I see the same cliques. I see the same prejudice. So the church strengthened my spiritual immune system. And I don't get sick. I don't get devastated behind the things that I experienced in Palo, when in Haitian Voodoo, Kabbalah, Santeria, Lukumi, Ocha. These communities that I walk into, I've already had the precursor from the church. So through that experience, I gained wisdom that I didn't get in a book, that I didn't get in a video. And if I learn how to have proper life skills, then I can learn how to navigate. And therefore, I will be strengthened from those experiences. But what we cannot do, my brothers and sisters, I'm taking that back because it free will. Being enlightened for the purpose of community, wherever we may find that. If we're in a department store and we can't get help, the first thing we're gonna look for is somebody from our community. The reason why a lot of people and a lot of melanated people get hurt, because they know that certain melanated people are a part of certain communities. Whether it's the impoverished community, whether it's the homosexual community, marginalized communities, uneducated communities, we're looking for our brothers and sisters that are stronger in the community to defend the weak. And when we feel not defended, what we do? We get hurt, and then we talk about them. But we still fight for them because they're a part of the community. You can't pick and choose. I take that back. You can pick and choose, but for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So when you find that your daughter is a part of the community that you ostracize or persecute, it's going to hit different. When you find out that your son a part of the same community that you talk about, it's going to hit different. Because now your loved one has the same characteristics of the same community that you are in, that you look down upon. I learned a long time ago from a lot of wise people had greater experiences than I did. What I'm trying to bring to the melanated community is wisdom. We can't afford for our giants to fall. We got others coming along growing into giants, but they ain't there yet. And we can't afford to lose the wisdom, the experiences that come along with this community. When you're a melanated black man like I am, and you are provocative when it comes down to the ATRs, and you're not in a broom closet, so to speak, and you're out front and center, Our community shuns that. But I found another community that embraces my spirituality. While I yet fight for the same community that shuns me, that try to operate in the way, even the ones that benefit, they still walk in the ways of Nicodemus. Is it hurtful? It is. But they're not there yet. Everybody is not in the level of truth. Everybody is not studying, so they don't know history. Everybody is not informed because they are go by what they heard versus what they know for themselves. Everybody's not in certain aspects of the development, whether it's economics, whether it's spirituality, whether it's health. These are the things that our community, whether it's Jamaican community, whether it's Haitian community, when we understand as melanated people, we may come from different cultures, we may come from different paths, but we're all of the same community. This is why when you get more knowledge, and my brothers and my sisters share knowledge with me, I share that knowledge with my community. Just like when you try to infect a roach or rodent, killing them by raid stops that particular roach from maneuvering. But when you feed that roach poison, and he is able or she is able to take it back to the community, this is why 500 years of studying melanated people, they have strategized so many ways to get poison into our community. Whether poison us mentally, whether poisoning us emotionally, or whether poisoning us economically or sexually. As long as we're going to traffic that poison back to our community. And some of us got to have the spiritual antibodies that kill that poison. That our brothers and sisters don't have to be destroyed or ruined. Because we need those people. Oprah Winfrey don't have to be perfect. But she's still inspiring men and women. Gayle King don't have to be perfect. I'm talking about celebrities. But they still inspire our melanated community. None of us practitioners have to be perfect. But the reason why you know what you know right now is because these imperfect people were sharing information, knowledge, wisdom, understanding with our community. And now you making better decisions. Now you moving different. Now you're making better decisions, and now you're living a better reality. I don't have to use the scriptures to help melanated people. I don't have to dress up in my Yoruba outfits to help our community. I wear many hats and many outfits. But I still, because I belong to our community, we don't need to be a part of breaking up our communities. Because they're going to be able to pick. They might not be able to get the strong. And they might go after the weak. But it's still a breach of our community. To say that the weak don't matter. To say that the weak don't matter. Or brother or sister that's weak in certain areas of their life. It's like saying the young don't matter. When the young is our future of our community. When we see our young rising up, that's not a time to kick them. It's a time to guide them and give them experience. Because they got to have that experience to have that wisdom. That's why I don't believe in preaching about sin. I don't believe in telling people that that's a mistake. Because if you learn from that situation, you gain wisdom to strengthen our community. I told my grandfather he didn't do nothing for my mom them when it came economically, and he didn't do anything for us as grandchildren economically. But what he had to offer, he had a life full of wisdom of what not to do. Sometimes we don't think people are beneficial because they're not the most educated, because they're not the most gifted, because they're not the most economically empowered. But we all got roles to play in our community. Everybody can't be the eyes. Everybody can't be the ears. Everybody can't be the mouth. Everybody can't be the chest, the heart, the lung. Somebody got to be the feet. That's why I love astrology, because it shows where everybody's energy is most effective. When somebody wants to poison you, they can poison you through your feet. Pisces rule the feet. Pisces is water element. Water is a purifier. Everybody got a reason why they born with a certain energy and frequency. You don't have to be in a voodoo community to be in our melanated community. You don't have to be in a community of Ifa to be in our melanated community. You can be an educator. Melanated women in the Americas are the most educated. And what melanated black women are doing, they're educating the masses. They're teaching history because they understand community. We have to gravitate and strengthen those ones out on the front line. We can't allow our soldiers to fall. We can't allow our melanated people that have learned the system in any of these systems to fall. When we see our brothers and sisters behind the scenes in the same systems that work against us, we want them to be either compromised, come on here somebody, or we want them to get fired by trying to help some of us. In order to heal the body, you got to deal with the viruses. You got to understand how the viruses move, because the virus got more information on you. The parasites got more information on you for 500 years. They done studied how to weaken you. And we have to gain knowledge. The Bible says it like this: being knowledgeable about the weapons, the strategies of the enemy. What has happened? Many of us are warriors, but we have been fighting the decoy. When my aunt used to speed, she said, I got me a rabbit. A rabbit was the person that is speeding, that's going to let you know if anybody get a ticket, the rabbit going to get the ticket. It going to let you know y'all both speeding. But you need somebody in front of you to get that ticket. When a lion is chasing you, you ain't got to be the fastest. You just got to outrun the person that's closest to the lion. These are the people that we as melanated people put in jeopardy. We ain't in those places. This is what happened in the election. Melanated people, everybody didn't get the message. We didn't realize what a significance. A lot of us did. A lot of us are being awakened consciously. And we understand that we need some people in all of these systems that are attacking us, that are weaponized against us. But we need one or two or three melanated people. Do you realize how many melanated people became federal judges up under the Biden and Harris administration? You don't understand. We got to have our people in every aspect of this system that has been engineered against our community. And we as a collective can't afford for these people to fall. Whether it's a root worker, whether it's a conjurer, whether it's a mystic or Ajay, whether they from Jamaica, whether they train in Trinidadian, we got too many parasites on this earth plane that is trying to live off of us melanated people. And we strategy, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. And what you don't understand today, sweetheart, sir, you'll understand it tomorrow. That's why we got wisdom heads out here. In every form of community, we got somebody guiding our people. See, you don't have to walk down every pathway to support that pathway. And sometimes I want to speak to these other people of the community. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to be the pioneer to create a pathway for other people that live, think, and function like you do, but they melanated. One of the hardest things that I experienced about our community was understanding I wasn't supposed to be accepted. Because if I had been accepted in the church world for the ATRs, I would have never had the courage to follow the pathway that God had prepared for me. Yeah, I'm mostly on I appreciate that Lamont, but a lot of times my level of truth TikTok can't handle. So I have a YouTube channel that I really drop a lot of knowledge for native people. I have to go, I'm like energy. I have to travel paths of least resistance to do the greatest good that I can do for melanated people. I got to be on platforms that allow me to maneuver. Here, as a Sagittarian, I got to come up with too many synonyms to say what I got to say, where it don't trigger people, where it don't because what people don't do, when you're parasitic or you've been invaded by a parasite, you will take things that were meant to help you and perceive them as harmful threats. To be pro-black does not mean to be anti anything. I'm going to say it again. To be pro-black or melanated does not mean or should not be interpreted that you're anti anything. But the reason why it is interpreted that way is because if you're living off of melanin and melanated talent, good abilities, then as a parasite or as somebody invading those spaces, you can't allow that host to thrive independently. Melanated people can thrive independently, and we can thrive even more as a community. Other people are not like that. They have to, their whole world is built off your energy, your inspiration. Whatever your melanin brings to you as Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Cancer, they thrive on you whether you're on the high or whether you're on the low. I really need work. People working. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to say this to all my melanated people. The last thing you need to do is get financial broke. You can't help yourself if you don't have resources or currency. I'm going to say this again. I was taught this at 13 because my spiritual dad was a conjurer in Haitian voodoo. So he said the two areas of the life that's going to be attacked, it's going to be your finances and your health, if not both. Until you find a community that takes on your warfare, and I'm going to say this because this is what we do in the church. We take you on because you are melanin. And the first thing you do is when you get better and we take on your virus or attacks or psychic attack, whatever that is, as a community. The first thing when you get better and feel better, you go other places and support those communities. I don't want to argue. I want to tell the truth how we do. Melanated people and more predominantly black people or black women have supported me. And the last thing I'm going to do to that community that got me where I am is betray them for my melanated brothers. Because they have not evolved. And they need these melanated women to devolve who they are in order to support weakened patriarchy mindsets. When we as a community take on your battle, your individual battle as a community, and you betray us, it's very hurtful. You know how many times I have had to heal because I have been there for melanated black people. And they have no problem betraying that community. And you want us to continue to take on your parasite, your warfares, your what other people are doing to you through these systems. But the moment we do that for you, and you get your spiritual immune system strong, when you get your money strong, when you get whatever it is that you advance in life, because we're all taking on that harmful energy, you have no problem in your heart. Now you want to be an individual. Now you want to aspire to your dreams and your passions. But those passions are about supporting other people, other communities. And that those communities is not where you ran to for refuge. I am, my brothers and sisters, of a matriarch. I am Crown Mafedifun Oya and Mafedifun Babalu Aye. I am an asset to my community, not a liability. But I also, because I'm a fire sign, I see when you are full of parasites and you have this parasite doctrine, but you are being drained because of that way of thinking, that way of behaving. And you got eaten up, and now you're in cardiac arrest spiritually. And you need a lifeline. And you come to this community that does not judge you, but try to help you. But when you get strengthened, my brother, when you get strengthened, my sister, are you going to be a part of our community? Because the reason why we help you is that you are melanin. The reason why all these people before me and these people that are walking the same path that with me and the ones that are coming back, the reason why we help you, the reason why we shared that information with you, the reason why we gave you heads up, because you were melanin. You were a black man, a black child. The reason why we unlocked our doors, because you were running and you needed help. We didn't let you in our house to rape us, to steal from us. The only thing we recognized, you were a melanated man or woman or a child, and you were in stress. I didn't bring you in my ministry to try to destroy my ministry. I brought you in my ministry because you were drowning. I brought you in my ministry because you were on fire. I brought you in my ministry because you were ignorant. I brought you in my ministry not because I was perfect, because none of that mattered to you, because you needed my help. This same community every time you get on your feet, you give this same community your ass to kiss. And yeah, we get tired, but we don't stop fighting. We're looking for more people that value and honor this community, because these parasites are coming for us all. And through the power of Mother Nature and our inward melanin, we're microcosms of the universe. And a change has already started. But I want to encourage my brothers and sisters that share this live, that believe in the same frequency and vibration that I'm spewing out of my mouth. We got to support it. We would not have the benefits, even in Congress, if it wasn't for other melanated people. Whether you got to walk the path of Malcolm X, whether you got to walk the pathway of Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, Rihanna, because some of y'all, these people I'm not a fan of, but I know why they there. I'm a fan. I'm Whitney Houston to the end. Wakanda forever, Whitney Houston forever. And I love a lot of artists, but the one that I'm gonna resonate with is that Leo. I got 3 baby mamas, and when Whitney Houston died, they all was trying to figure out how call your daddy. How your daddy doing? Cause none of them came before Whitney Houston. None. Not my side pieces. Nobody. My point is, we still community, and we got to have wisdom when we are hurt by a community, that we don't become the very poison that's going to take it back to the pack, take it back to the covenant, take it back to the ancestors. We're here to strengthen our ancestors so they can help us more in this timeline and further our cause. I'm going to get out here because I got to go to church. But I want to say to my brothers and sisters, we need our community. Wherever that community is, it's important for our survival. It's important for our education, because we understand we never have to explain certain things to our melanin people, because they already know. Don't make it hard for us that are still in the church, fighting the good fight of faith. Because I understand where you're coming from, and I understand why you don't never want to go back to church. But you should not be a hindrance in somebody else. And you should not be a reason why somebody leaving the church. Because sometimes it ain't the people in the church or the pastor in the church. People got bad behavior. They parasitic. All right. Love y'all. Thank you all for listening. Share this live. Share this this message. And even if you don't support me, obtain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because I still get blessed for sharing truth. All right. Thank you, Lamont. Thank you, guys, for the love. Thank you, Miss Whitney 79, for always checking for me. Always checking for and riding with my Sagittarius energy, because in your community you need people that understand your energy and that you don't mean harm, even though your truth offends. I've hurt a lot of people behind truth, and you need people to understand he don't mean no harm, but he gonna stand on truth, and you need the truth to set you free. All right. God bless.